again, everybody. Welcome to the More Than 2 Minute Drill. I'm Joe DeRamo. This is the My Pinnacle Network podcast, video podcast, or both. And today is a special edition because we are handing out our Networking Ninja Awards. That's the award ceremony we have at the beginning of the year, where we recognize the best networkers in our organization. And this year's was supposed to be on March 17th, St. Patty's Day. We had all our green outfits ready to go, and then a little pandemic hit, so we shifted gears. And since we've extended that, it doesn't look like we're going to have the live event anytime soon. I decided, with my partner Steve Dubin and Jonathan Lemaster, as well as our sponsors, the South Shore Networking Professionals Group and Rockland Trust, we kind of decided to do these little podcasts and get up close and personal, as they used to say back in the day, and meet some of the Networking Ninja Award winners. And I'm pleased to announce the first one we're talking to is Gary Weinman of My Pinnacle Network-Westborough, and Gary is our Brightest Beacon Award winner. So Gary, congratulations first, and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
And Gary, to kind of kick this things off, since not a lot of people outside of Westborough might know you, just tell us a little bit about what you do and the name of your company, your business, and your role in the business, and we'll take it from there.
Okay, sure. Good morning, everyone. My name is Gary Weinman. I'm a CPA. I'm a partner at a firm based out of Waltham by the name of Katz, Nannis Solomon. We're a 55-person firm specializing in startup businesses and small local businesses. Myself, I'm more of a tax guy, but the one thing about our business is that, there's many people that can do a tax return for you. A big thing which we bring to the business is, we're a service industry and the service is lacking. And, a lot of people need a lot more assistance than they just need for a tax return. So we do a lot of, things you would never think of. I almost have a degree in family psychology, although it's not from any university. It's just that, I spend a lot of time, solving family issues, solving business issues, getting involved in negotiations. Just last week I was involved in a court case over Zoom between one family and other parts of the family, as they were all trying to figure out how to split up the proceeds of a company. And not the type of thing you would really expect your CPA to be doing. But, after a couple of meetings with both attorneys for the plaintiffs and the defense, both parties kind of wanted me as a part of that. So it was very interesting, and after about 6 or 7 hours on a Zoom, all the parties involved, came to an agreement. And I think it worked out well, because I don't think anyone was happy. And they've always said that that's how an agreement is right. If no one's happy, then somehow you must have done it correctly. So I do a lot of things like that.
I think you can tell from that introduction story that part of the reason why Gary got the Brightest Beacon Award is because he does bring a lot of interesting stories to networking, and which kind of brings me to, do you have any stories regarding networking where you either gave a referral or received a referral from some special efforts you did networking? I mean, do you have a networking story that's kind of your go-to?
Yeah, there are a lot of stories, as you all know, and I freely admit I'm a very story-based person. It's the way I tend to remember things. I'm horrible at remembering names, so you would think I'd be a terrible networker like that. But once I make a connection with someone and I can file them away into a story, then I know everything about them. One of the stories that I tell frequently was in 2019. For the first time, I made a conscious effort that I was going to start attending some holiday parties that, because, I would always get the invitations from clients saying, oh, we're having our party, can you make it? Can you make it? But, most of the time, they're all over the place. And I've always kind of thought that they don't really expect their CPA to go. So I've never gone. But there's one particular time I decided, this year I'm going to hit as many parties as I can, and just to see, what happens. And it actually worked out very, very well. Because, there was one party in particular in which, and I'll try to avoid all the names, but, there was a lot of drinking going on, a lot of eating. It was at an Italian place, which is always good food. And about halfway through the party, the next thing I know, the CEO and president of the company, he has his arm around me, and we weren't quite singing, but it was kind of close. And he started to introduce me to some of the investors in the deals that he puts together. And the thing which really struck me is, while he was introducing me to all these people, he's going up to them and he goes, "You'll never guess what the best thing about Gary is." And now, of course, I'm sitting there going, I don't even know what the best thing about me is. And, because I have no idea what he's going to say. And he would look at people, he goes, "He's the only person I ever deal with that when I call him, he answers his phone. And I know if I get his voicemail, it means he's not there." And then I'll get a phone call back from him quickly. There was one time, my controller left him a voicemail, and about 20 minutes later, he called back. He was sitting at a gate at Logan to get on a plane to go to Fort Lauderdale. And he was like, "You had nothing better to do, so you just called and got the phone call out of the way." And to which, now the whole time this is going on, I'm trying to I'm trying to be all humble and everything. But a lot of the investors were, people I was talking to were like, "My CPA never answers the phone when I call him. My CPA, if I leave him a message, he'll call me back in days." To which I always said, I'm more afraid of having to call someone back. So it's almost easier just to get the call in the first place. So,
Right.
so the result of this was I got a lot of follow-up meetings with, quite a few, people, and some of them turned into clients. Some of them didn't. Some of them turned into other referral sources. And now, admittedly, this was a great strategy in 2019. I don't know if there's going to be any holiday parties in 2020, but you never know what'll happen.
There could be a holiday party with breakout rooms, and you could sort of do the same thing virtually. But you make a couple of good points, though, in that probably the most important thing about networking is, first, be good at what you do, which the reputation you have of returning phone calls and in customer service seems to precede you. So that really helps. But as an overall networking strategy, how do you, what do you look to do in terms of networking? Is it strictly, being part of a group, or is it attending events, or is it kind of a mixture?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. My overall strategy is to develop friendships. The industry that I'm in, people don't change their accountant on a whim. Most people are happy with who they have. And if they're going to change, they're going to change because there's a reason to change. Either they're not happy with who they're using, or they've outgrown who they're with, and they need someone with more experience, with more resources. So, the old, the cold call just doesn't really work for what I do, because it just wouldn't work out that way. So what ends up working well for me is to generate as many friendships and as many relationships with as many people as I can, and have everyone kind of keep their eyes and ears open. I tell people, listen for certain things. If you hear someone that's not happy, or you hear someone that's having problems with the IRS or with their bank or anything like that, and they're not getting the satisfaction that they need, give them my name, give them my number, and I'll take care of them for you. And that's probably my overriding strategy on how I try to do things. Now, I admit, things like My Pinnacle Network, they work perfectly for me, because, that's pretty much our strategy. We all get together, we meet, we do one-on-ones, we develop relationships with each other. And it makes it easier for me to hand out referrals, and it makes it easier for people to give referrals to me. The big networking events, where everyone's standing around, those can be a little tougher for me. You can't quite tell this because of the Zoom, but I'm a short guy. I'm no Joe Duramo over here. I'm 5'5" on a good day. So for me to barge into a circle of tall people and kind of take over the conversation is a little harder for me. So I'm a lot better on the one-on-one type situations, or in a group that the group is all getting together for a reason. I admit earlier in my career, I used to go to the really large functions. As it never really worked out well for me.
So in adjusting to COVID, what are some of your strategies going forward? I mean, does that mean you're more proactively calling folks, or is it just?
Yeah, I would say that's definitely what I've been doing a lot more of. I spend a decent amount of time almost every day on Zoom calls, phone calls, Skype. Because I want to make sure that I'm staying in front of people. And another part of what I do is, if I'm in front of people, it's also a way for me to generate business, because, I might have done someone's tax return in March, but, now it's August. And if I call them up and I have a, 15, 20-minute phone call or Zoom call or whatever, a lot of times it's like, I'm having a problem with something. Can you help me with it? And, if I don't stay in front of people, they either don't, they never get that problem solved, or they find another way to do it. And a lot of times it's easier for me to do it. So that's kind of a big thing that I've been doing all summer long. And, it's been relatively successful. People like it. I admit just, 2 days ago, I called a high school friend of mine, because I happened to, see the date and realized, oh my God, I think this is his birthday. And I probably hadn't spoken to him in years. And, we had a half-hour phone call. And at the very end of it, he said, I got someone that has a little bit of a tax problem. Do you think you can help him out? And I'm like, George, that's what I do. Give me the information. And now, I have a call with them, I think at 3:00 today. Yeah, nice. See what happens.
Nice. Well, Gary, I can honestly say you're a very worthy recipient of the Networking Ninja Award here.
Ah, very nice.
I will make sure I get that to you very soon. And just congratulations. And going forward into the new year, we have some challenges that we're probably not going to meet in person. So my question to you is, how do you plan on defending your Brightest Beacon title? Any secret networking stories or plans?
Yeah, I guess the secret is, and we've all been in networking meetings, and my strategy in all those meetings is, when I'm speaking, I don't want to see anyone on their phone. Okay, so I don't spit out the same regurgitated things at every single meeting. Do I come up with a script? No, I make a couple of notes, and then I kind of, free flow from there. But, I keep my head on a swivel. I'm checking out everyone in the room, and that's what I do. I try to make sure that they're not on their phones.
All right. Well, I think the rest of the people are going to have their work cut out to take the brightest beacon away from you, Gary, but I'm sure you welcome the challenge, because it makes for a better meeting for all of us. So again, I'd like to congratulate you and thank you for coming on the podcast. This has been the More Than 2 Minute Drill, and this has certainly been more than 2 minutes, but I think it's been well worth it to hear some strategies from Gary. So thank you for appearing, and we look forward to hearing from you again. And thank you to our sponsors, both My Pinnacle Network, the South Shore Professional Networking Group, and Rockland Trust. And again, this is Joe Duramo for the More Than 2 Minute Drill. Gary, thanks again.
Oh, it's been my pleasure.